to come and present and work with you today. Whoever you experience, whatever you take from it, try and connect it. So thank you so much, everyone, for giving of your time to be here. The connections you make today in here, and between each other, I hope they're of value. So to set the scene for the day, we've got two keynote speakers, James Omar Bridge, General Secretary of UNESCO UK, followed by Julie Sato. Julie-san is UNESCO ASPnet International Coordinator based in Paris, and they're going to take 20 minutes or so just to set the scene for the day.
So, Mike, thank you so much. That was tremendous. And I wanted to say bonjour, hola, kalispera, as I think it's now the afternoon in Greece. And I see there's so many Greek participants, and we have participants in Africa and Lithuania, around the world. So absolutely wonderful to be here. I will be speaking on connecting for peace. And it's so wonderful to be connected with you. We're all here connected. We're part of, and you are part of, the wider UNESCO family by being part of this conference. I'll talk a little bit about the UNESCO Constitution and the UK National Commission for UNESCO very briefly, and also about ASPnet, although my wonderful colleague from UNESCO will be speaking, so you'll get more detail from her about that, and then a little bit about peace itself. So the most important thing, and I hope you can see from the slide about, what we need now is peace and connection and humanity. And this is something that has existed since UNESCO was founded. I mean, it's existed since humans have been around. And in the UNESCO Constitution, it says that we must build the defences of peace in the minds of men. Now, we've moved on, haven't we? It's building the defences of peace in the minds of women and men. And in fact, I think building the defence of peace in the minds of people, I think, sits so much better with all the values that we have in the world today. And it's about building that understanding together. So by us connecting, we are building understanding. And many people have said they want more tangible versions of peace. And I think this will be coming out of today's conference with the wonderful workshops. I also want to say a very quick thank you to the UK ASPnet coordinator and organisation, Steve Sinnott Foundation, part of the UK family, and BT for running this conference, and for her wonderful team and all the fantastic ASPnet schools here in the UK, but part of that whole UNESCO family. UNESCO itself, as you know, was built out of the horrors of the Second World War. And people got together and said, what can we do to stop this happening again? It's got to be much more than about defense, much more about financial mechanisms, but linking through culture, science, education, and also, interestingly, disinformation, fake news, etc. Something that's very prevalent today. So it shows humans haven't changed. And I'm really optimistic because it shows the changes that people spotted then are things that we can do now to make all the difference. So as part of that UNESCO family, the family that we have of all the organizations in this country and around the world, I want you to know that you're part of thousands of organizations in this country, for example, and likewise in Greece or Lithuania or in Japan, where we have a great speaker. It's not just World Heritage Sites that people know about, and people in this conference know about the ASPnet schools, but it's biospheres, geoparks, UNESCO chairs in things like refugee integration through the arts or through protecting cultural heritage in times of conflict. It's really, I think, important to understand that there is this extraordinary community that we have, and it's really precious. And that is what builds understanding. It's things on the ground. So it's what you are doing through the schools and through your everyday actions. And in fact, through things like today's conference, which of course will be written up, and there'll be recommendations that will have a life beyond this and energize us and support us. So as part as well of this idea of peace and what's really in our hearts and is in the actions of the UNESCO designations in each country is what is motivating us as well. And you can see this quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson: "Peace cannot be achieved through violence. It can only be obtained through understanding." So I do think it's wonderful that it backs up UNESCO idea with culture, that our poets also see that understanding is part of moving to what we're seeking to achieve through our practical actions that we'll be working on today. And as you can see, peace does not mean an absence of conflicts. Differences will always be there, and we're all different. That's the thing, to celebrate our diversity. Peace means solving these differences through peaceful means, through dialogue, education, knowledge, and through humane ways. How wonderful that this is echoing the UNESCO Constitution. And I really encourage you all as well to do have a look at it. The preamble itself captures the main things. And UNESCO unites 193 countries that are working towards these goals. But really important, if you think of UNESCO as the tree, yourselves, ASPnet network, the geoparks, the World Heritage Sites, the biospheres, they're the roots and the fruit of UNESCO. They're the thing that keep it going. They are what build the understanding which creates peace. And it is the only way that we will continue to create pace and sustainability. I also want to add, for us thinking about today, that the Sustainable Development Goals are a really great way as well to capture some of these things. You know, so many countries and others measure things like GDP, which is, you know, of course it's really important, but how can we capture these other things that matter to us all? And the Sustainable Development Goals are part of that. And education, Sustainable Development Goal 4, of course, is one of those absolutely key ones. So you right now are part of contributing to this, and we can capture this and feed this into UNESCO through the ASPnet Schools Network, which my colleague will soon speak about. So to conclude, UNESCO is about building the defense in the minds of people, and that's us, and we're connected, and we're connected together. It's only through our actions that we can tell the story of UNESCO, create the story of UNESCO, and pass things on now and to future generations. And there's a rather nice line here that you can see from Francis of Assisi: "While you are proclaiming peace with your lips, be careful to have it even more fully in your heart." And looking forward to an absolutely wonderful conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, James, for setting the scene so perfectly, and also giving us a wonderful metaphor to take through the day. UNESCO being the tree and us being the roots and the fruit. Let's hope a lot of that is born today. Thank you so much for your time.